Hey friends, Jesse's still here. In Exodus 33, it talks about Moses and his relationship with God. And it says that God would talk to Moses face to face, like a friend. Just a verse or two later, then it says how God would say to Moses, Moses, I know you by name. I know you, and you have found favor in my sight. And I believe that this idea of face to face relationship is the key or a key that unlocks a true moral revolution. I mean, Moses became a deliverer for a whole nation. Where did it begin? He was face to face with God. Now, I talked to you a little bit about developing your relationship with God in a previous video, but today I want to challenge you about having face to face relationships with people. I believe deliverance will come to a whole generation when we learn to do the work of having face to face interactions. I was just pondering this recently. I do a lot of reading, and I'm just seeing a common theme in a generation right now that we are in, that people have lost the art of actually making friends. And this brings up so many different ways of brokenness and wrong ways of relating to one another, and opens the door for more and more brokenness to come along. And I remembered how, for me, one of the most transformative things that I think ever happened in my young life, when I was about 14 years old, there was this older man in the church. He was probably my age now, but he was newly married. He had a baby, had a big job. I mean, he had plenty to do. He did not need more to do with his life, but out of the kindness of his heart, and I believe the motivation of the Holy Spirit, saw this young 14-year-old dude and said, I'm going to get to know him. I'm going to be his friend. And I remember, just once a month or something, he would take me out to lunch after church, and we would just go eat Taco Bell, and he'd look me in the eyes and ask me about my life, and we'd talk about God, and he just got to know me, what I liked, what I didn't like, what questions I had, and how was school going, and it meant the world to me. I remember I didn't know how to articulate it to him at the time. I wouldn't have even known how to tell him, but it was huge in my world that he was willing to take that time, sit across from me, and just look me in the eye and get to know me, and let me get to know him. That friendship set a foundation in me that I believe saved me from a whole boatload of sin and brokenness. And so, as I'm looking at this concept of what we want to see God unlock for a moral revolution, I believe it comes down to, in a sexually broken and relationally broken generation, a generation that's been pornified. I mean, everywhere you look is perversion. It's on the billboards. It's in all of our sitcoms, or normalizing everything that God says is not normal and okay. In movies we watch, the music we listen to, that you and I need to make a turnaround and say no to the cultural norms, and say yes to getting eye to eye with people and getting to know them. And I'm talking about just friendships, because the basis of love, the basis of morality, the basis of even romantic love, when you get there, is friendship. And we've lost the art of it. We live in this digitized world, where we're on Facebook and we're on our phones, and we watch videos and movies and TV, and we're always in the, and I love that stuff. I love social media. I like internet. I mean, I'm into all that. I love to connect with people via phone, but I feel even in my own life, the Lord challenging me to put that stuff aside and just get to know people. Not to hang out and play video games or watch movies. That stuff's not bad, but actually do the hard work of talking and asking questions and looking one another in the eye. It's not always glamorous, but I believe this is what will turn the tide, because when we learn to relate to one another, we'll learn to value one another. We'll learn to respect one another, and true love will emerge in a generation. I'm reading articles about 15-year-olds. They'll have sex or do sexual acts together before they've even decided to date or even kissed. And it's all the influence of this sexually broken culture that's become normative. And even older teenagers and young adults, they'll hook up before they commit to a relationship, just kind of like testing out the waters. That is so broken, friends. That is so broken. What kind of a world are we living in? When before a 15-year-old girl gets her first kiss, she's asked to perform sexual acts on a 15-year-old boy, things that he's seen on the internet. We need to turn the tide, and friends, I believe you and I can do it. There's probably just a handful of you watching this, so I'm engaging each and every one of you in this fight and in this battle to prioritize the people in your life. Get to know the people in your life. Again, it's not always easy. It is actually hard work, but I'll tell you what, if you do that, I'm preparing you for marriage. You're preparing for marriage, but I want you to take it one step further. Please, please, please do this. I want you to find one young person, someone younger than you, and I would aim for the 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old range, those ones who are vulnerable, who are awakening to things on the inside, and just befriend one. Could you just befriend one? Could you give an hour once a month to them? And they don't have to know why you're doing it, but it will change their life. And I tell you, if 10, 20 of us would actually do that, we could start something. We could start a moral revolution. Really, it could change everything. So if we can show one person how to have a real friendship, and they can show another person how to have a real friendship, who shows another person how to have a real friendship, we'll have wholeness in our relationships, and we can say no to the lies and the lesser things and not fall prey to candy-coated sin that destroys us in the end. So I'm challenging you, because the desire we all have for intimacy is real, but those other things will not fulfill it. True face-to-face friendships, that will fulfill the need, that will fulfill the desires on the inside. If you can learn to see others and let them see you, just expose your heart to other people, you will experience real intimacy. So who are you going to get to know? Who is in your life that you actually need to do the hard work of getting to know them? Ask them questions. Let them ask you questions. Sit across the table, drink coffee, eat food, go outside, take a walk, throw a frisbee together. Actually be with people. Who is it? I want you to think of at least 2 people. And then how can you take time for just one? Is there one young person that you can show the art of relationship building, the art of friendship to, and be a friend to? I want you to think about that. I want you to pray about that. I trust if you ask God, he'll tell you at least 1, if not 10, young people around you who are dying on the inside for someone to want to get to know them. Let's do this. Let's take hold of this key of face-to-face relationships, and let's unlock the door to unleash a more revolution. Love you.